Sufis, methods and disciplines of Sufism, insights from Sufism for the rest of us. Sufism is a mystical form of Islam that has existed for over 1,000 years. Followers of this ancient tradition, known as Sufis, believe that by connecting with the divine through meditation, prayer, and music, they can achieve spiritual enlightenment and experience a deeper connection with God. The history of Sufism can be traced back to the 8th century, when Islamic mystics began to explore the inner meaning of the Quran and develop practices for connecting with God. Over time, Sufi communities grew and spread throughout the Middle East and Asia, and their teachings and practices became a valuable source of spiritual guidance for people of all faiths. One of the core beliefs of Sufism is that the divine can be experienced through the heart and the soul, rather than just through the intellect. Sufis practice various techniques to help them connect with God on a deeper level, including meditation, chanting, and dance. They also have a strong tradition of storytelling, using stories and parables to illustrate spiritual truths and inspire people to lead a more meaningful life. Sufis follow a number of disciplines and methods to help guide them on their spiritual path. One of the most important is the concept of dhikr, or remembrance of God. This involves repeating the name of God or a phrase from the Quran over and over, with the intention of creating a state of mindfulness and connecting with the divine presence. More on the history of Sufism. Sufism emerged in the early centuries of Islam, when Muslim mystics sought to connect with the divine through meditation, prayer, and spiritual practices. The Sufi movement spread throughout the Middle East, Central Asia, and India, and has since influenced spiritual traditions around the world. Methods and disciplines of Sufism. Sufi practices vary widely, but most involve meditation, prayer, fasting, and other forms of self-discipline. Some Sufis practice whirling, a spinning dance aimed at cultivating a state of ecstatic union with the divine. Others may engage in chanting or reciting the names of God or spiritual teachers. One of the central disciplines of Sufism is the purification of the heart. Sufis believe that the human heart is the seat of the soul, and that it must be free from negative emotions and desires in order to receive the divine presence. Through prayer, contemplation, and self-reflection, Sufis seek to purify their hearts and cultivate virtues such as compassion, generosity, and humility. Another central tenet of Sufism is the surrender to the will of God. Sufis believe that everything that happens, whether good or bad, is ultimately part of God's plan. Therefore, they practice surrendering to the divine will and accepting all aspects of life, without judgment or resistance. Insights from Sufism for the rest of us. The teachings and practices of Sufism offer valuable insights that can benefit anyone, regardless of their faith or background. Here are a few lessons we can learn from the Sufis. 1. Cultivate inner peace. Sufis understand that inner peace is the key to true happiness and fulfillment. By cultivating practices that promote inner peace, such as meditation and self-reflection, we can find greater contentment and joy in our lives. 2. Practice compassion. Sufis believe that compassion is an essential virtue, and practice empathy and kindness towards all sentient beings. By cultivating compassion in our own lives, we can create a more peaceful and harmonious world. 3. Surrender to the unknown. Sufis practice surrendering to the will of God, trusting that everything that happens is ultimately for our highest good. By letting go of our need for control and accepting the unknown, we can find greater peace and fulfillment in life. 4. Cultivate joy. Sufis believe that joy is an essential part of the spiritual path, and encourage practices that cultivate joy, such as music, dance, and chanting. By finding ways to experience joy in our daily lives, we can enhance our spiritual awareness and find deeper meaning in our existence. Another discipline practiced by many Sufis is that of tawakkul, or trust in God. This involves letting go of attachment to material possessions and placing complete trust in God to provide for one's needs. Sufis also practice zikr, or the remembrance of God through music and dance. The teachings of Sufism offer valuable insights into the nature of the human experience and the fundamental importance of spiritual connection to create a life of meaning and purpose. Some of the key lessons that we can learn from the Sufis include: 1. Everything is connected. Sufis believe that all of creation is interconnected and that our actions have an impact on the world around us. This teaches us to value every moment and every relationship, recognizing the interdependence of all things in the universe. 2. Focus on the inner journey. Sufis emphasize the importance of cultivating the inner self through meditation and prayer. This teaches us to look inward for guidance and insight, rather than relying solely on external sources. 3. Embrace diversity. Sufis have a tradition of welcoming people of all faiths and backgrounds to their communities. This teaches us to embrace diversity and recognize the inherent worth of every individual. 4. Be present in the moment. Sufis emphasize the importance of living in the present moment and cultivating mindfulness. This teaches us to savor the beauty of each moment and appreciate the blessings in our life. Overall, the teachings and practices of Sufism offer valuable lessons and insights into the nature of the human experience and the importance of spiritual connection. By taking some of these lessons to heart, we can deepen our spiritual journey and cultivate a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Further, the wisdom and practices of the Sufis offer valuable insights for anyone seeking to deepen their spiritual awareness and find greater fulfillment in life. By cultivating inner peace, compassion, surrender, and joy, we can enhance our spiritual journey and create a more harmonious and fulfilling world for ourselves and others. Thanks for watching.